What's up guys, TC here and welcome back to Starbound Nightly, and today I've got the biggest news. I have got huge news, tremendous news. I have the best news. But today, or well I guess I should say yesterday, the Starbound Unstable branch has updated to essentially be on par with the Nightly. What this basically means is your Starbound Unstable branch is the full variant of the game. There's still a few minor hiccups and bugs to fix, but the game works from start to finish. You could go open the game right now, start a new character, play from the very beginning to the very end of the very last boss. What I'm going to show you guys today is a couple of quick weapon changes, and then we're going to actually take a look at the very last level. So today's episode is going to be chock full of spoilers. I will give you guys a quick alert before we jump to that last mission. But first things first here, I want to show you guys some slight changes to a couple of these weapons. First up, we got a cool one to this Violium Broadsword. One second. Sorry about that. The Violium Broadsword is one of the ones you can craft at the end, and it got a brand new secondary ability that is so cool. Basically, it's a front flip slash, and it's amazing. It's actually really useful. I was surprised how useful it is because it's got this huge hitbox. And the other one here is the Protectorate Broadsword. And so this one here, I'm not going to exactly spoil for you guys what this thing does or how it does it, but essentially left-clicking it turns it on into this kind of like empowered mode. So it does extra damage like this, and then if you, right-click does that. And if you right-click again, you shoot this little blast. So yeah, it's actually super cool. And one last thing is this, I was showing you guys the Exodoom hammer, which hasn't been functional for the last week. And they finally redid it, and it's actually got this kind of a, it looks strange when you right-click. It shoots out a little web, but it's actually really powerful. It whenever you hit an opponent with that web, it gives them the slime status for like 5 or 6 seconds, and I don't know if you've stepped in slime in this game, but you go super slow. But anyways, guys, we are about to go check out the final mission. So if you are trying to avoid any spoilers or whatever, this last mission is chock full of them. So now is your chance to check out, alright? And we are off. Okay guys, and we are back, and as you can tell, we are on a tentacle planet right now, and there are all kinds of monsters and crazy looking monsters and stuff floating around here. This is definitely, we've had access, well, I've had access to this mission for about a month now because of a mod a friend of mine made. But I have to say, this mission here is a lot different than all the other missions. Completely different, really. All the other missions you're going to notice are in like protected zones, and this one's really not. As you can see here, we can actually dig and pull up materials out of this mission. Like, there's nothing in this part of the mission is actually protected. So it's a lot different than what we're used to, and there are a ton of enemies here. This is an extremely difficult mission, I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely the hardest one. There's just so many ways to die. As you can see, there's poison everywhere. These freaking gnats are all over the place. These little tentacle gnats. These little clams are here. But basically this mission, it's so much different than the others because more or less there's not like one suggested path to get to the end. More or less what you're supposed to do here is you have to get to the core of the planet. And it's not really a planet, it's actually all one big living being. And as you can see, it's a regular planet. You can like, it's just like a normal, it's got cave formations and everything in it. You won't find stuff like micro dungeons, but as you can see, you're going to continue on down into the depths of this thing. And the whole point of this mission is you have to get to the core of the planet. So we are going to spend a moment here trying to go down. And they talk about how there's actually like a chasm, like an open area when you get low enough. What you're going to see is, so you got these like jelly blocks, the tentacle block here. And later there's actually like a brain block, which is kind of the dead center of this planet. And that's where you're trying to get to. So let's get 1 second here. We're going to try to work our way down. Here it is. So you hit this, there's a big chasm. Pretty much, you're going to hit and you're going to fall. I'm trying to, well, one thing I will say is this last mission has not been loading very well. Like, it's, something about it makes it where it does not load very quickly. But anyways, as you can see, the background has changed. This is kind of like a bunch of brains in the background. We're actually standing on a bunch of brain blocks right now. And so this is the core of the planet that we beamed in on. And what you're going to see, the core is this one, it's kind of like a, basically it's replaced the magma core of the planet you normally see. And so what you see is we're now finally getting close. It's interesting how they did this. They've actually managed to make the final boss scene into what appears to be basically a micro dungeon. So anyways guys, this is the final boss. Again, if you're here by accident or whatever, or this is your chance to check out if you don't want to get spoiled any. So we're going to head on in. Checkpoint. Go on in here. And here, if you recognize this guy here, this is Nox, I think her name is. Apparently we didn't kill her earlier, but basically you have to fight her one more time. And she's actually pretty easy to fight. You can usually dodge most of her attacks just by ducking. There we go. And once he's worn out, you can just wreck him. I'm using these overpowered dragon pistols, so this would be a lot harder normally. And I'm also using the rage effect. But basically he complains and says good luck with this giant thing. And it's pretty much this huge eyeball at the center of the planet. The heart of the ruin is what it's called. And it's got some really crazy attacks. So as you can see, its first one right here, big laser beam. You damage it by shooting it. On the side, you'll see these little flies and gnats pop out. And it's got several attacks. Aside from the huge laser beam in the middle, it also summons these tentacles on the side. Which we should see those soon here. Oh, this is the laser beam again. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of damage to this eyeball here. But you're going to see some tentacles are going to pop up on the right side any minute now. He's also got a really, really cool ability. When he starts doing it, I'll kind of explain what's happening. I think here it is. Alright, so he basically opens up a portal in his eye to a random biome in the game and summons monsters from that biome. One second, I'm getting a little lag here. I'm going to have to restart recording. 1 second. Okay, we're back. Sometimes, I don't know what, I think there's just so many mobs on this this mission. So here's all those tentacles popping up here. If you're in this little area here, you'll get killed. But yeah, so his main 3 attacks are this huge laser, the tentacles he summons on the side, and then he'll open a portal here to a random biome, and he will summon monsters from that particular biome. So you can get like crystal monsters or like anything, any biome really. Any monster in the game can actually end up here. It's actually a pretty cool mechanic. As you can see, he has a ton of health. So here's like, this is a forest biome, so we'll probably get, yeah, these little guys. Yeah, it's definitely a cool little throwback to some of those biomes, because it's basically, hold on. There we go. I don't know why this, maybe that's why it's on the unstable branch. It's kind of, it doesn't load quite that fast. Like, my computer's pretty beefy, and I have a hard time with this many monsters on the screen, this much action. It really struggles with loading the planet here. But as you can see, this guy has a ton of health. I managed to beat this mission. It took me, I died my first try going through it, legit. The second time, I just loaded up with a bunch of stim packs and stuff like that. Let's see, we need a better weapon here. Let's try this thing. I don't know if that's really doing any better. Yeah, so you see he has a ton of health, and he's going to keep spawning these things in. The hardest part for me, really, like, it wasn't so much dodging his attacks. It's keeping the damn, keeping all these little minions, more importantly, these damn gnats away. Like, they're just everywhere. There's so many, and they continue to spawn in out of these little pods here. Yeah, so that was, for me, the hardest part of this mission. I even used a pet, and I mean, my pet got wrecked immediately, but it was, the hardest part's not really dodging the attacks, it's dodging his little minions. Alright, we're almost there. Come on. Almost. So see here, he's going to summon in some kind of bug type enemies. We should finish him off here any second. And final blow. Alright. So as you see, he actually blows up here. And so this is pretty much the end of it, guys. It's actually, it's by far the toughest mission. In fact, I think this would be a really fun mission to do with your friends, like a co-op type thing. And essentially what happens is this planet blows up. It becomes unstable and completely explodes. And I'll just be honest here, spoiler alert, if you're this far in, I don't feel bad if you get spoiled. Your character basically dies. Everyone here is mourning your loss, and I'm actually not going to wait around because it's actually kind of a long cutscene. Essentially what happens is the cultivators, the person in this game that pushed the ruin into its gate, there's one left and he's inside of this portal here, and he basically tells you that they gave off the keys to the 6 races to, you know, basically try to keep the galaxy safe, and ultimately he ends up reviving you. This cultivator, the last one left, revives you. And more importantly, I think this is the most important thing people are going to take from this. is he actually gives us a little hint of who the cultivators actually are. He talks about how they splintered apart into fractions of who they were. And what this is basically saying is the cultivators actually are the Nova Kid, in a sense. The Nova Kid are kind of like a fraction of what the cultivators were. So that's where they came from. That's why they don't have much of a memory who they are. And it's kind of explained in this cutscene. But basically, to wrap things up, this cultivator gives off the last of his kind of essence and revives you and brings you back. And that is the end of the game. So, anyways, guys, I have to head off to work, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please rate, like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to y'all later.